What's up, guys? I hope you're having an amazing day. And today, I want to talk about being an empath. I want to talk about emotions. I want to talk about the journey I've had with emotions, the journey I've had with feeling other people's emotions more than they feel them themselves. I want to talk about this argument that goes on about empaths and what they are and what it is and how it works. And I've found this system that I think describes it so well. And so I'm going to share that with you too. I'm going to share with you how I've shifted from my mind into spiritual awareness, spiritual emotional awareness. And I'm going to talk about this emotional wave. So I'm going to talk about all kinds of interesting and crazy things today. Perspectives that you've never thought of, perspectives that you've never heard, and share with you some of the amazing world of human design. And maybe this can help some of my feelers, like me, come into a place of empowerment, come into a place of owning what's mine, letting go of what's yours, letting you do what you need to do with that, right? And not taking the responsibility into myself. So all kinds of huge stuff today. What's up, Samantha? And I really don't have anything planned. What's up, Donna Ray? How's it going, guys? But I'm just going to kind of freeball this and talk back and forth with you guys. So if you guys have anything to add during this or to share experiences, things that you feel, questions that you have, please feel free to share, because I would really like to actually hang out with you guys and talk to you guys throughout this live. What's up, guys? Hey, Jennifer. Hey, Valentino. So good to see you guys. Yes, Patricia, yes. I was just thinking about lighting a candle too. What's up, Kim? Hey, Jane, how's it going? Okay, so let's talk about this empath thing that's going on, right? Because right now it's really being ramped up. Everyone who's an empath is probably feeling this. And so let's talk about what's happening. Let's talk about my big breakthrough that happened, I think, in 2015 when I found human design. Because, we can read all kinds of things about empaths and narcissists and all these topics, but what we don't understand is how this energy works. And I've read a lot. I've checked out a lot of things, a lot of books, a lot of videos, a lot of systems. And what I found is that human design makes the most sense to me, and that it's allowed me to have the breakthroughs that I've needed on my own journey. So I kind of want to share with you the human design take on emotions and on empaths. So the way they explain it is that there's two different people. And in human design, it kind of shows our energy centers. So like our crown center, it shows, your splenic center, which is like your instincts. It shows an emotional center, which is your emotions, right? We have our root and our sacral and all these different centers. But what's different about human design is that some people have these centers defined and other people have them undefined. And so today we're talking all about the emotional center. And the way they explain this is that 50% of people are defined emotionally and 50% of people are undefined, okay? So the undefined people are the empaths. I'm undefined. And so what does it mean to have a big open emotional center? It means that whenever you are around someone with a defined emotional center, not only do you feel what they're feeling, but you amplify it. So they're sitting there and they're telling you this emotional story and you feel it more than they do. So this is real, right? This being an empath and being a feeler and being able to feel exactly what other people are feeling, more so than they do, it is real in this system. And so this was huge for me because I had a very emotional mom and a very emotional sister. And what I didn't realize is that everything I felt growing up wasn't even my own, right? It had nothing to do with me. And so it can make you understand that, if you are living with someone with a defined emotional center and you're undefined, you're going to be feeling their emotional wave all the time. If they're in a high, you're going to feel like you're in a high. And if they're in a low, you're going to feel like you're in a low. And so let's talk about this emotional wave, okay? So the way that they describe it is that people with a defined center, they generate the wave. So this wave is a wave from hope to pain, hope to pain. And this wave remains the same, whether they're becoming a millionaire or whether they're homeless on the street. They will always have the hope to pain, right? And so that's something that they kind of just have to get used to. They're the ones creating the wave. This wave of hope to pain will always exist inside of them. On the other hand, us empaths, we don't always have to deal with that wave. We can go be in a room by ourselves and just throw it to the wind. Like, we don't have to feel it at all. But the moment we get around someone with defined emotions, we're going to amplify it. We're going to feel it more than they do. And it's going to rock our world. And so we're sitting there and we're so involved in their story, and we go home and we're still thinking about it and we're still feeling it and all these things. Well, that's why, right? And so this is human design. This is just one of the millions of things that you can learn from this system. But this had a really big impact on me. And so when people are, they're talking about narcissists and empaths, and they're having these conversations, and they're saying, are empaths real, or is this just someone, boo-hooing and acting like they can feel things? No, I believe that it is the truth. And it's very funny because in our house, Tim is defined and the rest of us are undefined. So Tim's mood sets the emotions for our entire house. And so we've been on this huge spiritual shift. And in human design, it kind of talks about how you can transcend the emotional wave. So what does that look like to me? What that looks like is that we know we will always be on a wave from hope to pain, right? And when we hit that pain point, we don't have to blame it on our friends. We don't have to blame it on our job or our boss or our income or the bills. We can just know this is being a human. I will always ride this wave of hope to pain. I don't have to come up with stories about why I'm feeling this pain today, because it's just being a human, right? And so as you become friends with the wave, as you stop blaming it on everyone, you can transcend it. And then you don't have to make up these stories in your mind about what it's about, because truly it's not about anything. It's just the way that we feel. And so very interesting stuff today. And the way human design looks at this is that we're going into a shift. And this shift is bringing us from mental awareness into spiritual emotional awareness. And so this shift happened to me. It wasn't something that I set out to do. It was just one day, boom, it happened. And I was like, what the hell is this? Like, is this a spiritual awakening? What do I call this? What is happening? Why do I have no energy? Why am I running away from people? Why can I not look people in the eyes right now? Like, I'm so confused. And so I don't really know exactly how it happens, but what I did was I came out of my mind and into this emotional spiritual awareness. And so coming into this emotional spiritual awareness, it was like I had never really felt anything like this. I lived so heavily in my mind. I was so logical and rational, and I could work as long as I wanted to. I could stay up all night and not eat all day, and I could stay focused on my tasks. And my mind was blocking me from feeling things. My mind was blocking me from loving myself. My mind was blocking me from doing the things that I needed to do to survive and to be happy and to create a sustainable career. And so when I shifted into these emotions, this spiritual emotional awareness, I was like, what in the hell is happening? Because I'm an empath, right? I already feel people so deeply, but this was new. This wasn't me feeling other people anymore. It was more of like huge surges of energy, huge surges of electricity in my body. I started having dross, which is kind of like where you get this really hot feeling on the inside, but you're sweating on the outside and you're cold. And so the way I perceived it was I was letting go of my past, my memories, my traumas. It was like being purged out of my body so that my body could grow into this spiritual emotional awareness. And so it's very interesting the way that it's all played out. And now I can finally handle it. And it's beautiful. I love the way I feel. I love the way I now know what is yours and what is mine. I love the way that I can now tell people no. You know, a huge problem with empaths is that we can't tell people no. Why? Because we're feeling what they feel and we're amplifying it. So this pain that they come to you and they're like, I need help, I need this, I need that. We feel like they need help more than they do. And so we want to, right? We want to help. But that's not our job. Our job isn't to make people feel better as they ride the wave, right? Our job is to know what's theirs, to know what's ours, to not, to have the freedom to not get tangled up in their mess, to have the freedom to continue living our life instead of putting everything on hold so we can fix theirs. This is the power of understanding the emotional wave, who generates it and who doesn't, right? And so this has allowed me so much freedom in my life. It's allowed me to be focused on my goals and where I'm going and putting myself first versus throwing myself to the wind like I always did. And before this shift, I can look back and I can be like, oh my God, I didn't even exist in my own life. Welcome to the life of an empath. All you exist to do is to make everyone feel comfortable. Why? Because when everyone else feels comfortable, so do you. If someone's sitting in your living room and they're like, twitching around and you're feeling their emotions, you're like, can I get you a drink? Can I get you something? Can I do something? Because all you want is for them to feel calm so that you can feel that calmness too, because you're riding their wave. And so it's very interesting as you come out of this and you realize, wow, that was never mine to begin with. Like, my life has never been about me. There's never been a Lacey Garza in Lacey Garza's life. And at that point, a lot of people call this dark night of the soul. And you're relearning how to live. You're relearning, what is my life? What do I want? Where do I fit into this? When do I stop working? When do I let someone keep the problem? When do I help people? So it's like you're relearning everything all over again. But it's amazing. And it's worth the trip. It's a very hard, confusing journey, but it's worth the trip. Because as you make it to the other side, it is freedom. You get to be your whole and complete self. You still feel other people, but you understand that if I take this pain from you and I fix it, I'm not allowing you to learn anything in your life. I'm not allowing you to grow. I'm not allowing you to get better. I'm not allowing you to level up and become a better person, right? And so you get to this place where you're like, okay, they have to keep that pain. They have to keep this lesson. If I help them right now, I'm hurting them and I'm hurting me. And so you can, as an empath, come out of the wave. You can begin to understand what's theirs and what's yours. You can come into a life that is about you, a life of freedom, a life where you can pursue your goals. And so this stuff is absolutely huge. And if you guys want to ask me questions, go for it. I'm about to go back and check out some of these comments. And it's just incredible. And yeah, it's like you ride this wave, and once you realize that that's what's happening, you can stop blaming your emotions on things. You can stop creating stories about your emotions. So one day you hit the low end of the wave and you're like, okay, I'm quitting my job. I'm going to do this. I'm divorcing my wife. And it's like, wait, stop. You're just at the low end of the wave, right? And so that's something huge. Maybe you are emotionally defined. So if you are emotionally defined, you just feel your wave. And something about these people is that they can never make a decision in the now. Because when it comes time to make the decision, they might be up here. But they need to think about the decision down here and right here and right here and right here. They need to see the decision from all the perspectives of their wave. And so if you are defined emotionally, it's a little different for you. You want to be patient. You want to always sleep before you make a decision. You want to, commit to things, but always let your friends know, hey, I'm leaving myself the right to revoke this invitation, the right to revoke this commitment, because I could wake up tomorrow at the low end of my wave and just not want to come. And so for people with defined emotions, they are constantly in this wave, and they've got to learn how to live their lives and make decisions over the flow of it right? And so they've got to be very patient. There's no clarity for them in the now. They're always looking for clarity as they see the same event at different places in their wave, right? Whereas the undefined emotional people, we just have to understand that we're amplifying them. Whatever they're going through, wherever they are going to put us in that place with them. And we're not only going to feel it, but we're going to feel it stronger. Yes, it's absolutely insane. Well, and you know, I said something yesterday on my live with Jenna when I was talking about emotions. And so the energy comes into our bodies, right? The emotional wave comes in and we start making these decisions about it. And it's beautiful because I've found research about the chemical oxytocin in our body, right? Everyone calls this the love hormone. This is the hormone that we release when we have a baby. This is that hormone of bonds and of love. But what they've discovered is that it's also the hormone of fear and anxiety. It's the same chemical, but we can choose what we call it in our mind. And so it was amazing. And I was like, wow, that's incredible. Same chemical, right? The energy comes in, we make a decision. But what we need to understand is that we're always going to have these feelings, whether they're theirs or yours or mine or ours. But what we need to know is that we don't need to make decisions about these feelings because they're always going to be there because we are a human. And this is our awareness. And we're coming into this emotional awareness, right? We're coming out of our mind and into the emotions. And so that's a whole other topic to talk about. As we come out of our mind and into the emotions, what can we expect? We can expect chaos. We can expect racing thoughts, right? This emotional energy is ramping up. And so the people who haven't started reconditioning their mind, they're making all kinds of decisions about it. They're running around doing all kinds of chaotic things. Their mind is getting louder and louder and noisier. And they're like, I don't know how to deal with this. What is happening to me? What is going on? You're shifting from mental awareness to spiritual emotional awareness. And so we can be on the lookout for this, right? We can be on the lookout for people who need help, who need to know what's going on, people who are having a rough time. We are going to see this manifest in our relationships as we become detached because we're letting go of all mental things. So we formed all of these attachments with our mind. And we're going to kind of have to let go of all of these attachments in our mind. And so letting go of these attachments, you might feel like you're being betrayed by your friends and family. You might be fighting with the people around you. You might be going through a lot of chaos with a lot of people. But what's happening is we're all just trying to navigate this shift as we shift from our mental awareness to our spiritual emotional awareness. As we get rid of all of these decisions and all of this mental and, past lives in our DNA, subconscious thoughts in our subconscious mind, we're clearing this out of our body so we can come into this new type of awareness. And so it's going to be very interesting to watch all of this as it happens. And if you feel like you're shifting, Sandra just said she's shifting. If you feel like you're shifting, here's some things to know. No one can help you. No one can heal you. These are things that we have to do from the inside. And so this is going to kind of be our own responsibility to come out of our minds and into our emotions. And while no one can help us do it, we can have containers like communities where we can go through it together. And so I have a group. It's $5 per month. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we meditate together, we do power virtues together, and we learn a lesson together. We commit to taking the journey from the mind to the spiritual emotional, right? And in that journey, it's so amazing because you become this self-empowered individual. You become who you are, right? Lacey Garza didn't exist in my life, but now she's my life. And so that's what happens as you go through this shift. And if you're looking for someone to go through it with, you can hit me up. Yes, Mary. Mary's one of the most woke people I know, you guys. So go follow her because I love her stuff and the things that she shares. You're always right on it, girlfriend. All right, so I think that's a wrap today. We talked about emotions. We talked about human design. We talked about the emotional wave, knowing what's yours, and let's end this with your power to say no. This is big. You know, as an empath, you have to know what's yours and what's theirs. You have to be willing to let them keep it. And so since we feel them, that's the most painful thing that we can possibly do, is tell people no. But a word that has saved me is compassion. Compassion. And so what is compassion? It means to suffer with. It means that when someone comes to me and they need me and my help and they need this and they need that, instead of just doing it for them, I'm deciding to suffer with them. Suffer with them. And what that means for me is that I say no. I say no. I think it's an amazing idea for you to try on your own, because I can't steal these lessons from you. I can't steal your growth from you. I've got to focus on my own lessons and my own growth. So you keep that, I'll keep mine, and we can stand beside each other in self-empowerment and confidence as we walk to our goals together. That's what we're moving into. The age of the individual, the age where we don't manipulate each other and control each other and steal each other's energy and give each other energy, right? Self-empowered, independent people standing beside each other as we walk to our goals. And it's incredible because for a year, you know, I haven't been able to make business and this shift work. Like, it's like I've had these two different lives, and all of a sudden it's the same exact thing. I realize my business is the perfect place for people to shift. My business is the perfect place for people to be around other people, to establish what's theirs and what's mine, to become the self-empowered, independent person that this shift requires them to be. And so all of a sudden I'm seeing it so beautifully that business is a spiritual journey. Business is the shift. And so I'm like, wow, life's crazy. But it's really came full circle for me, and it's been so amazing. Yes. All right. So I love you guys. As soon as I get off of here, I'm going to put the link in the comments for the group. It's $5 a month. You can cancel anytime, but we've absolutely loved it. I think we're almost around 450 people, and it's exactly what we all need. So if you'd like to join, I'd love to have you. And I'll put that link in here in just a minute. So I love you guys. Have an amazing day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.